When we chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, something profound happens within us. We are not simply reciting words or performing a ritual. We are awakening to a truth that has always existed in our hearts. This truth is the law itself, the very essence of the universe, and it lives within each one of us. To revere this law within ourselves means to recognize and honor the incredible power and wisdom that is our birthright as human beings. Think of it this way. Imagine you have a precious jewel that has been with you your entire life, but you never knew it was there. You might have felt its presence sometimes, perhaps during moments of deep happiness, or when you felt connected to something greater than yourself, but you didn't understand what it was. When we learn to revere Myoho Renge Kyo within our own life, we are finally discovering this jewel. We are learning to see it, polish it, and let its light shine forth. Nichiren Daishonin wrote, "The object of devotion is none other than Nam Myoho Renge Kyo." This might sound simple, but it contains layers of meaning that can transform how we see ourselves and our place in the world. When he says the object of devotion is Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, he is telling us that what we revere, what we turn to for guidance and strength, is not something outside of us. It is not a distant God or an unreachable ideal. It is the law that exists within our very being. But what does it mean to revere something? To revere means to hold in deep respect, to honor with awe and wonder. When we revere the law within us, we are acknowledging that within each moment of our lives, within each breath we take and each thought we think, the same law that governs all of existence is at work. This law is not separate from us. It is us in our deepest, most essential nature. The Lotus Sutra teaches us that all beings possess the Buddha nature. This is not just a pleasant idea or wishful thinking. It is a fundamental truth about reality. When the sutra declares, "At the start I took a vow, hoping to make all persons equal to me, without any distinction between us," it is revealing that the potential for enlightenment, for perfect wisdom and compassion, exists equally in every person. This potential is what we revere when we honor the law within ourselves. Sometimes people think that Buddhism teaches us to look down on ourselves, to see ourselves as small and insignificant. But this understanding of revering the law within shows us the opposite. We are being called to recognize our own magnificence, not in an arrogant way, but with deep humility and wonder. It's like discovering that you are not just a drop of water, but that you contain the entire ocean within you. Nichiren Daishonin expressed this beautifully when he wrote, "Never seek this Gohonzon outside yourself. The Gohonzon exists only within the mortal flesh of us ordinary people who embrace the Lotus Sutra and chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo." The Gohonzon represents the object of devotion, the focus of our reverence, and Nichiren is telling us clearly that this object of devotion is not somewhere else. It is within us, within our ordinary human lives, within all our struggles and joys and daily experiences. This teaching might seem confusing at first. If the law is within us, why do we need to chant? Why do we need to make any effort at all? The answer lies in understanding the difference between possessing something and being able to use it. You might own a beautiful musical instrument, but if you never learn to play it, its music remains silent. Similarly, we all possess the Buddha nature, but we need to learn how to awaken it, how to bring it forth in our daily lives. Chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo is like learning to play this inner instrument. Each time we chant, we are practicing reverence for the law within us. We are saying, in effect, I honor and call forth the highest potential of my life. I acknowledge the Buddha nature that exists within me right now, in this very moment, exactly as I am. The practice of revering the law within is not about becoming someone different. It's about becoming more fully who we already are. The Lotus Sutra teaches that even the most ordinary people can manifest extraordinary wisdom and compassion. It doesn't say we need to become saints or perfect beings first. It says that the capacity for enlightenment exists within us right now in our current circumstances, with all our human limitations and challenges. When Nichiren Daishonin wrote, the Buddha wrote that one should become the master of one's mind rather than let one's mind be one's master. He was pointing to this same truth. To revere the law within means to recognize that we have the power to direct our lives from this deepest level of our being. We don't have to be victims of our circumstances or slaves to our negative thoughts and emotions. We can connect with the law within us and find the strength and wisdom to transform any situation. This doesn't mean that life becomes easy when we learn to revere the law within. Challenges still arise. We still face difficulties, disappointments, and pain. But our relationship to these experiences changes. Instead of feeling overwhelmed or defeated, we can meet each challenge as an opportunity to manifest the law in our lives. We can ask ourselves, how can I express the Buddha nature within me in this situation? How can I respond with the wisdom and compassion that is my true nature? The practice of revering the law within also changes how we see other people. If we truly understand that the same law exists within all beings, then we cannot look down on anyone. We cannot dismiss or hate others because we recognize that they too possess the Buddha nature. This doesn't mean we approve of harmful actions or ignore the need for justice and protection. But it means we can maintain respect for the fundamental dignity of all life, even when we must oppose destructive behavior. Nichiren Daishonin wrote, "If you want to understand what results in the future, look at the causes you make in the present." This teaching about cause and effect is central to understanding how revering the law within actually works in our daily lives. When we chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo with genuine reverence for the law within us, we are creating causes at the deepest level of our being. These causes then manifest as effects in our environment, our relationships, and our circumstances. But this is not magic or wishful thinking. It's about the power of connecting with our deepest wisdom and compassion. When we revere the law within us, we naturally begin to make better choices. We respond to challenges with greater wisdom. We treat others with more compassion. We find courage we didn't know we had. These inner changes then create positive changes in our external world. The Lotus Sutra contains a story about a poor man who doesn't know that a precious jewel has been sewn into his clothing by a friend. He continues to live in poverty and struggle, not realizing that he carries great wealth with him wherever he goes. This story perfectly illustrates the human condition. We all carry the precious jewel of the Buddha nature within us, but many of us live as though we are spiritually poor because we don't know how to access this treasure. Revering the law within is like finally discovering that jewel sewn into our clothing. It's the moment when we realize that we have never been separate from enlightenment, that we have never been cut off from wisdom and compassion. The law has been with us all along, waiting for us to recognize and honor it. This recognition brings tremendous joy and relief. We no longer need to search outside ourselves for happiness or fulfillment. We no longer need to depend entirely on external circumstances to determine our well-being. Of course, we still engage fully with the world around us. We still work, form relationships, contribute to our communities, but we do so from a place of inner strength and stability, knowing that our deepest source of happiness and wisdom is always available to us. When Nichiren Daishonin wrote, "The treasure of the body is rare and difficult to obtain, but we have it now," he was expressing this same profound appreciation for our human life. Our life itself is the treasure. Our capacity to think, feel, choose, and grow is precious beyond measure. When we revere the law within us, we are honoring this incredible gift of human existence. The practice of reverence also includes gratitude. When we truly appreciate the law within us, we naturally feel grateful for our life, even with all its challenges. We begin to see that everything we experience, both pleasant and difficult, gives us opportunities to strengthen our connection with the Buddha nature within us. Problems become chances to develop patience and wisdom. Successes become occasions to express gratitude and share our good fortune with others. This attitude of reverence and gratitude gradually transforms our entire approach to living. Instead of constantly judging our experiences as good or bad, we begin to see them all as opportunities to manifest the law in our lives. Instead of wishing we were someone else or somewhere else, we begin to appreciate the unique circumstances that allow us to develop our Buddha nature in our own particular way. The Lotus Sutra teaches that the Buddha appears in different forms to help different people according to their needs and capacity. Similarly, the law within us manifests differently in each person's life. Your way of expressing the Buddha nature will be unique to you, shaped by your personality, circumstances, and relationships. There is no single correct way to revere the law within. What matters is sincerity, consistency, and a genuine desire to honor the highest potential of your life. Nichiren Daishonin emphasized that this practice is for ordinary people living ordinary lives. He wrote, "The Lotus Sutra is intended for people in the evil age of the latter day of the law." In other words, this teaching is specifically designed for people like us, living in challenging times, dealing with all the complexities and difficulties of modern life. We don't need to retreat from the world or live in special circumstances to revere the law within us. We can do it right where we are, in the midst of our daily responsibilities and relationships. This is what makes the teaching so powerful and practical. We can honor the law within us while cooking dinner, during a difficult conversation at work, while caring for children, or while facing illness or loss. Every moment becomes an opportunity to connect with the Buddha nature within us and express it in our words and actions. The practice of revering the law within also includes studying and deepening our understanding of Buddhist teachings. When we read Nichiren Daishonin's writings or reflect on passages from the Lotus Sutra, we are not just learning intellectual information. We are discovering new ways to recognize and honor the law within our own lives. Each insight we gain helps us see more clearly how this profound teaching applies to our daily experience. As Nichiren Daishonin wrote, "Both oneself and others together will take joy in their possession of wisdom and compassion. When we learn to revere the law within ourselves, we naturally want to help others discover this same treasure within their own lives. Not because we want to convert them or make them like us, but because we genuinely care about their happiness and fulfillment. We want them to experience the joy and peace that comes from connecting with their Buddha nature. This sharing happens naturally through our example. When we consistently practice revering the law within us, others notice the changes in our attitude and behavior. They see that we handle challenges with greater calm and wisdom. They observe that we treat others with more compassion and respect. They witness our growing sense of purpose and joy in living. This positive example can inspire others to explore their own inner potential. The process of learning to revere the law within is gradual and ongoing. It's not something we achieve once and then forget about. It's a daily practice, a constant opportunity to deepen our appreciation for the incredible gift of our Buddha nature. Some days we feel more connected to this inner treasure than others. Some days our reverence feels natural and spontaneous. Other days we have to make a conscious effort to remember and honor the law within us. This is perfectly natural and nothing to be discouraged about. Even experienced practitioners go through periods when their faith wavers or their practice feels routine. What matters is that we keep returning to this fundamental truth. The law exists within us, and we have the capacity to manifest wisdom and compassion in our lives, regardless of our current circumstances or emotional state. Nichiren Daishonin wrote, "Word by word and phrase by phrase, ponder over the sutra." This advice applies not just to studying Buddhist texts, but to examining our own lives with the same careful attention. When we revere the law within us, we begin to see our daily experiences as expressions of profound spiritual principles. We start to notice how cause and effect work in our lives. We become more aware of the interconnectedness of all things. We develop deeper compassion for ourselves and others, as we recognize the universal nature of human suffering and the universal potential for enlightenment. This deeper awareness brings a sense of meaning and purpose to everything we do. Even mundane activities like washing dishes or commuting to work can become opportunities to practice reverence for the law within us. We can use these routine moments to reconnect with our Buddha nature and set positive intentions for how we want to interact with the world. The ultimate goal of revering the law within is not personal benefit alone, although we certainly do benefit from this practice. The deeper purpose is to contribute to the happiness and well-being of all beings. When we manifest the Buddha nature within us, we add to the total amount of wisdom and compassion in the world. We become sources of encouragement and hope for others who are struggling to find meaning and direction in their lives. As the Lotus Sutra teaches, the Buddha's sole purpose is to enable all beings to attain the Buddha way. When we learn to revere the law within ourselves, we align our lives with the same purpose. We begin to live not just for our own happiness, but for the welfare of all life. This expanded sense of purpose gives our lives tremendous meaning and fills us with energy and determination to overcome any obstacle. The practice of revering the law within us is both simple and profound. Simple because it requires no special equipment, no particular location, no advanced training. We can begin right now, wherever we are, simply by acknowledging, with sincere appreciation, the Buddha nature that exists within our lives. Profound because this simple practice can transform everything: our relationships, our work, our response to challenges, our understanding of life's purpose. When we truly revere Myoho Renge Kyo as the object of devotion within our own lives, we discover that we are never alone, never without resources, never hopeless. The same law that governs the movement of galaxies and the growth of flowers is always with us, always available to guide and strengthen us. This is not a poetic metaphor, but a practical reality that we can experience and express in our daily lives. This is the treasure that has always been ours, waiting for us to recognize it, honor it, and allow it to shine forth through our words and actions into the world.